I missed you. It's only been, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do another live here. Let me wipe my table off. Okay. Then let me get turn my iPad on here. Okay, it looks okay. Hi, Amy Schooner. How you doing? It says I can say hi in the chat. Leaf Watson, what's up, brother? Eric Snyder, how you doing? I'm under my wife's. I'm a cookaboo. It's a little nickname. Did you guys, Leaf? You saw my live the other night? Did you see my live the other night? Um, I did the sift. I sifted the dye over. Okay. Yeah, you probably missed the reveal. Here's the shirt from that live that I did 2 nights ago. Give it a chance to catch up here. So I ended up having pretty good saturation on it, huh? And not too bad. Let me turn this chat. There we go. Now I can see the shirt. Uh, you're just okay. Good. I'm doing just fine, Amy. It's skater tie dye. Yeah, this isn't the reveal for the shirt. I'm going to do another live. I actually revealed this shirt earlier. I was just showing Leaf what we did the other night. So I'm not sure if you saw it or not. I owe you $1 because remember I said it was going to have a bunch of white in it. There is no white. What this little bit right here, it's just purple, like light purple. It's not. There's no white in it. Um, so I owe $100 because that was the bet. He says, "Okay, um, if you're a size large, I'll send you the shirt. How about that?" Um, so that was what I did the other night in our live. I went live early. I had a friend here, and she's always wanted to go live with me, and just sit back and kind of watch. And so we did it at about 3 o'clock in the morning, or 3 o'clock this afternoon. Um, I like the lack of Sanu lines. Yeah. Yeah, I did use Sanu, but it's not, it wasn't real, hardcore. So tonight, I'm going to do, and I know Stephanie might not be super stoked because, people get sick of seeing it, but I'm going to go ahead and do how I've been doing the Course of Angels roll. It's not really folding, it's more rolling. I used Thundercloud on this, and we center the shirt, draw a line up, and then roll on the line. But you have to kind of start rolling down here first and then roll up. So all right, well, I'll try to get your address somehow. Um, follow me on Facebook or Instagram if you do Instagram. It's the same name on all my social media, Scott Rad Dies Walker. It's the same on everything. I don't know. I do have TikTok, but I don't know if I use it or not. But I do use Instagram. But this is a Chorus of Angels fold. I don't know who actually started doing it. They say on the process, you can see on the process of ice. It looks like oh, okay. Uh, it, uh, you can find out on like the process of ice dyeing or whatnot who actually started it. I forget, but I think Leah Thompson kind of like started to, uh, perfect it. Like she was doing getting really good results. This was done dye over ice, and I want to do the same way because you guys have seen you have seen my dye under the ice, and we all know how much dye it takes. So I'm trying to show people how to kind of conserve some dye. So I'm going to show how I um, do this roll dye over the ice. Now, here lately, I've been trying to. I need to quit saying so much because I've seen it on the text, voice to text or whatever, and it's a bunch of and all that. Anyway, I forget what I was saying. So I need to center my shirt. I know you guys get sick of seeing. I know some people get sick of seeing that how to center a shirt. Pinch card right there. Draw a line on the outside there. That's going to be the back. There's the inside right there. I can just kind of guess there. That's usually pretty close. I mean, it's just kind of where I pinch. And I'll kind of keep this up as I go. Let me pull this up. I'm going to pinch on this line right here. Pinch at my dot. Bring it all up. Try to keep my head up out of the way. Now we're going to line up this seam with this seam right here. Sleeve goes inside the other sleeve. So when you hear sleeve and sleeve, that's what that is. And line those seams up. You don't ever want to go by your tag because there's a lot of times, unless you're using high quality shirts or whatnot, there's a lot of times your tag's not centered. And if you just go by your tag, it's not going to be true center of the shirt. So see how that one fit right in dead center. Pull that. Now I'm a little off on my dot there. It's showing. And now that's right there. Make sure I get my line down here. Pull that over. And we'll give her a little snap. Let me go ahead and get my bottom there. Yep. So we'll give it a little snap. And so let me tell you, this was seems like tags are always off now. Oh yeah. I I um I I still use shirts that have tags, and if they come with tags, I leave them on it. Uh dye supply. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, I'll contact you on there. All right, good. Um yeah, dye supplier. The dye supplier, I don't know which shirt. Just give this a little snap here. Actually, line to the where my dot was on my shirt there. Okay, now I'll walk around my shirt here for a second on my table. Uh, I use my rifle cleaning rods. It helps me get my edges and my Nice starting point right there. That felt really nice. Right there, went together pretty good. Might as well start with a nice crisp starting point, huh? Leaves out here. Go up through the middle. It's not too bad. See it right there. So the old chorus of angels fold or roll. Yeah, that was my ruler. It fell through the cracks of my rack. Okay, those seams are lining up good. All right, so what I like to do, and now this is, I'm just going to show you. Sorry if I'm yelling. I don't know if I am or not. I have my headphones in. Have a tendency to do that. The uhs aren't bothersome at all. Don't sure. Okay, good. It's always good to review it, right? Okay. Um, uh, we're going to draw our line from here up to here. The other day, I drew it. I think I think on that shirt I went farther up here, and I do dig that look, man. Let's see it again. I can sit this on top of that. See how it went up instead of coming up here? This was a 2X heavyweight, 2X tall heavyweight shirt. And I dye both sides. The same thing I'm going to do with this, even though it's a thin shirt. I'm going to do both sides of it. So in the morning, I'm going to do the exact same thing after this ice melts and the shirt's not dripping, not dripping wet. I'll do the exact same thing over again. All right, so let's use that roller that fell down through the flats of my rack. Let's go. So what I like to do, this would be about the middle of the shirt. This roller has a center, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can actually find the center pretty fast, quick enough anyway. So it'll be close to 15 inches. This would be my center right here, a good ways below the armpit, which on some people, you know, it's fitting right on the stomach. So I don't want that. I want it at the armpit, you know. So I'll just draw a dot right here. Let's go up just a skosh, just a little bit. I'll draw a mark right there and let's do that. Let's try that. And I don't know, this is just how I do it. I don't know if there's a right or wrong to anything, but that's the only line that I really need to draw. All right. You put my ruler back. Oh, I see why that's falling. Okay. So what you have to do with this roll, you can't just start rolling right here. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. It could be pretty tough to just start rolling right here. So you have to start rolling down here and roll it over. And then when it gets to about right here, you start rolling up. So what I did is I put a clip, black clip, halfway on my line right here, halfway right there. And then I have a piece of tape right here that I already got ready. And then I tape this down to my table. So it can't go anywhere. Now it's holding. So I can stop right here and start my roll going up. Make sense? You can zoom in on that if you need to. Right? So, and this is at first I felt like this was kind of a hard roll. And sometimes I have to go, so let me, so I'm going to start right here. I'm going to roll it this way, and then we'll roll it up. Okay. So I'm going to start right here and do kind of a tight roll right here. And there's times I do have to start and do it again, you know. It's going to crease up on me. I don't care about it. I just let it go. See, right there. So now I'm not fighting. I wasn't fighting anything. It wasn't trying to move since I taped that down. All right. This is not super tight. I should still get pretty good flow. Then I can take the tape off, take that off, and try to start rolling this up. And that will kind of start rolling up with it. I'll try to, this gets like, if this top shirt gets real wrinkled and this bottom one isn't, then it's going to look a little different. Maybe, I don't know. I just kind of just roll it, see what happens. So see, a lot of people that I had seen when people were first doing these, they struggled at the starting point. And if you put one of those things on there and tape it to your table, it can't move. That was super easy. And I mean, it's not like a tight roll, but I should still get some good splits because it is kind of tight. Now I might not get the best, this, really good flow. I probably will though. I mean, we'll see. So I just try to keep that line straight and roll that up, roll it up, right? Roll it up, roll it on up, and we'll see what happens. And I see like other people roll their shirts up. I don't see a whole lot of wrinkling. Hey, Leaf, you do these. Do you seem like you get a whole lot of wrinkling in the top of your shirt? And if you do, do you kind of stress over it, or does it even happen to you? I mean, like, is this just something that I'm doing? I don't know. Um, I'll give you a minute to answer it because there is a little bit of a lag between us and my iPad. And well, there is just a lag between. There's my tag. There. So let me put a rubber band around. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I mean, I can still see it. Uh, I'm gonna say that is the thick part of my shirt right there. Okay. That I'm gonna put Oh, another one here. And then I'll use one of my little like ear rope here. Man, I don't, maybe you guys can't. Oh, wait. Tag on it. Yeah, yeah, I like the wrinkle. Sorry. I thought my chatting was dead and I had a little arrow and hit it and it took me to the bottom of the chat. Duh. Okay. So let me. All right. Seems like the tags are earlier than it looked like Dark Horse on the last one. Um, that is Thundercloud. Sorry. That is this color. And I tell you, I was super surprised with the splits because if you can see that swatch, it just looks like gray and white. You know, I didn't think it was going to split into gold. You know, it has gold running down through it. Let me put this band right there, and I'll throw my shirt over top of that. I was not expecting the gold. Like it looks like it looks a lot like Pillars of Creation, the Grateful Dies, except bronze. There's not as much bronze. You know what I'm saying? There is some gold coming out though, and I really like this color. I would definitely use it. Like I could go. You can go one way or the other. If you go light-handed, you would probably get this swatch where there's white and dark, which in some ways there is, you know, like up here at the top. But I did get some gold splits that came out of it, and I really like it. So um, that's what that thundercloud is. That's what this shirt was thundercloud. All right, it's not. Um, hey Sarah. Oh wait. Okay. Um, He's a skater tie-dyes had it happen to him. Wrinkles can be good. Yes, definitely. Actually love the wrinkles. But I have seen where other people roll their shirt and it doesn't seem like they're either kind of like me where they just roll through it, you know, they just roll through it and don't even mention it, or they're rolling so tight or something. I don't know. I don't know. I like to bat at serpentine like a snake. Um, can hear you just fine. Okay, good. Um, More bins create wicked deal. Yep. Okay, so you like to bat it like serpentine, like a snake. That's how I do my dye over ice. I serpentine it. Uh, um, I've done it on a. No, there's one video I did do that on. Um, so we're going to do dye over ice, all right? And I'm on my line. I should be pretty close anyway. Okay. So this is relatively easy. I'm gonna my incline's gonna be like that. So the end that I want, I always put my end on the left, or the one I want to raise up. I always know which side is which, you know, and I put my work at the bottom of my gutter. So I'm not going to incline it like that, which I have actually inclined it backwards because we always, you want good saturation down here, and that fold is so thick that I inclined it, put this at the bottom and inclined it like that. And it came out really cool. Um, I had no saturation issues at all with that. So let's I usually put a little rack under it. Hmm, no, let's do that. If I can do this without making it, and I don't really need a long gutter like I have. And this would be a little better. This is a little bit smaller. This will kind of help with a bunch of muck lines. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't use the thing because my thing is I think it raises it up a little bit and maybe the dye water will flow down. But I learned today doing your work in the gutter gives you better saturation. Well, who cares? I'm doing both sides. It doesn't matter. So let's just go ahead and set it on top there. And thanks to Leaf for the inspiration behind the sponges because they are a game changer to me, literally a game changer to me. I always used to use washcloths up until uh, just, I don't know, probably, I took a shower or something like that and just went and got sponges down at the dollar store. They were in like a microfiber scrubber. I just cut that off and then cut these to fit. And, and it just keeps the ice from flowing out at the end when I pour ice on it. A little ice barrier. And they wash out in literally 5 seconds. Where the microfiber towels I was using as like this as a barrier. Oh my gosh, it still took 45 seconds to a minute to rinse out. So, all right, so I'm going to grab my ice. Yeah, about a month ago, Leaf. Um, it was such a good idea, man. I appreciate you showing it because it really did. I threw all those away. I don't need them. I didn't need them. So I got my ice ready. I kind of beat. I I don't completely pulverize it, but I pulverize it to break it up. If I keep it in my freezer, my deep freezer. I just have to hit it easy. You pour it in the water. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, and I have to be mindful of what I'm doing here, because I have still, if I was to fill this up to the top, it's it's 5 inches from the bottom to the top of the back, and I think it's 4 inches where the roll. They use an inch to roll it. So 5 inches on the back. My work's only 2 inches tall. So I have 3 inches here to play with. I don't need to be putting that much ice on it because I have all intentions on flipping it. With these rolls, they're so thick. I flip it and do it again. So I'm kind of going halfway through. I'm trying to think about going halfway through, but you know, easier said than done. Can you say hi to my girlfriend? You, yeah, yeah, that's nice. Um, there was some people that came through earlier, and I didn't know who they were. Um, I use I okay. So here's the deal. You see people use like snow in the wintertime. They do snow dives. I did an experiment and I get better flow. I get better splits and flow when I use just 1 inch by 1 inch. That's what my ice maker makes right there. Just a 1 inch by 1 inch cube, pretty much. And so that's why that dude, that's why I used to Kelly used to be here, and we kind of moderate it, you know. It's hard to do that. I had 2 guys come through earlier in my reveal, and they were, speaking Spanish. I don't know it. They could have been saying anything, so I just blocked it like I did that guy, Jason Lee, which he wishes he was Jason Lee. Ain't that right there, Skater Tie-Dye? He was about the best skater. He was such a good skater. He wasn't just, "My name is Earl." He was a professional skater. It was ridiculous. Okay, so this is about a little bit more. So there, I don't know what YouTube's doing, but it's showing my live videos. Like when I go live, other people that aren't have anything to do with tie dye come through, and to them, it's friggin' lame and boring. I mean, I get it. I'm just sitting here talking and folding, rolling shirts and putting ice in it and dye and stuff. So, keyboard warriors. I get it. I mean, they're bored. So I don't get too worked up over it. What can I do other than just block it? Okay, because I don't, like I said, I'm going to go through both sides. So I don't, that's a lot of eyes, but it's not going to be too much. All right. I don't want to touch it too much because I like it. I don't want my dye spreading out and being looking wet as soon as I put it on there. If the ice has been in my deep freezer for a while and it sounds like glass. Not wet, he's bit and I've done experiments with that too, and I like a slower melt, you know, not super fast, but let me get my dye on there and then start melting, not just boom and it's all splitting and Okay, so I'm going to use dye spin A or horse what is it? Mindbender A and Actius Luna. Now what and they're both from dye spin. Uh, uh, you're right about that. Jason Lee writ back. Other people know he was pro skater. Oh yeah, he was. He did. His blind video days part. It was a game changer. You watch that man. He was doing back backside tail slides, like one of the first to do it on benches and stuff. And that was back in the day, man. I'm 54. I don't know how old. I'm 53, so I don't know how old how old it was. What it probably came out in 90, 89 or 90, something like that, maybe. But let me get this die on here. So I'm using Mindbender A, and I started the dies that I really like. I started putting electrical tape over the lid, like it comes. Um, okay, so I'm going to serpentine this, and this isn't as thick as this is. And the only time I ever put dye up here is when I'm doing uh, a live with you guys. Other than that, it doesn't. So I'm going to kind of serpentine this up. So, and be careful, just really think about what you're doing when you're handling your dye and stuff. Because I tell you, my first week, I made so many mistakes. I learned so much my first week. I don't know about you guys, but taking my dye over my work and stuff. Oh my gosh. And spilling it on areas I didn't want it. And so these days I really try to be mindful of my dye and stuff. Now, you remember when we were doing those other dyes, like earlier, like a few months ago when we were doing the rolls and I was packing the dye on, man. I mean, I felt like I was using an ounce every shirt. I'm not using near what I used to doing dye over ice. Now, I guess maybe because I am flipping it, but tomorrow I won't go this heavy. So that is the Mindbender A. Reason being, my Mindbender X is throwing out a lot of green. This Actius Luna already throws out green. So I'm thinking that this color, Actius Luna, is kind of like moose. I mean, I hate to say that over the airwaves, but that's what I think. So now I'm just going to fill in the gap with this Actius Luna. So my Mindbender X throws out a lot of green. When this hits this ice, look how it's green. I mean, it's already green, but now you can really see how green it is. But if and someone asked me just a little bit ago about the ice. The chunkier the ice, the better the flow. Now, chunky meaning like this, not just one big huge block, because I've never done anything like that. But I don't care if it overlaps just a little bit. That's okay with me. I don't. Um, this stuff shouldn't get too muddy. I have a feeling this is going to kind of look like um, strawberry skies and strawberry skies and moose. I kind of think. Now, I'm not 100% sure, of course, but because this is the first time I've ever used this combination together. And that seems kind of heavy. But tomorrow, if I don't need to put much down here, I won't do it. I mean, I'll be able to tell. Do we want to? Let's use a little bit of that. Use nothing major. Put your work at the bottom of your incline, because if you put it at the middle or the top, there's a good chance it's going to slide down. And if you've done any kind of dye that has fallen off, it could kind of land in a spot you don't want it to be. You know what I'm saying? So I try to not have much. I don't want it moving. You know what I mean? I want it to move on the shirt. I don't want the whole shirt to move down. And it happens. So this is my setup. I'm already using my other. Doesn't that look weird sitting on the eye? Like just blue and green. How is that going to split? Hopefully it does. I mean, if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. I'm not going to stress it. I used to stress it. I'm not going to stress it anymore. I want to start doing uh oh, nice. Right on, skater tie dye. Um oh, anyway, it's just nothing fancy. I just have a bucket right here that I'm going to use. It is now 72.5 degrees down here. And let me put something underneath this because, yeah, right there. Now watch this all slide down. I'm just sitting here talking about it sliding down, and it's pretty much at the bottom of my work. Did you see that? that dye fly out, that water fly out. So that's how I set it up, just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I heard the other day, which I've heard it before. I just haven't said it in a long time. All right, so we'll see how that comes out. There's some green coming out of it, huh? I might just leave it right there. It is 72 degrees, 71.7. It just dropped because it was just 72.3. I saw it drop down to 71.7. My heater just kicked off. All right. So I'll leave my incline like that. Tomorrow morning, after all this is done, 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that, after all this is done and melted, I'm going to flip it and I'm going to do the same thing. Except, you see how since I flip it, it's going to be backwards. So I'll take I'll serpentine it like that. So it'll be on the same path. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? I'll do that. Sometimes I just do the same thing. It's a little thicker up here. See how thicker it is up here than it is right here if you zoom in. This is kind of thin right here. This it might be pretty cool right here. A little more Actius Luna. I really think, because of course, I've used Actius Luna before, and the swatch looks really cool. Right before we came on, I always go to Google and just type in the name and then dye behind it. So I typed in Actius Luna dye, and it always kind of shows the swatch. I was real quick instead of going to the website and you know, and it looked a lot like mousse, not as brown, you know. So I'm anxious to see how it mixes. So, like I said, I was going to use Mindbender X, but my Mindbender X puts out a lot of green, and I don't already have this green in the Actius Luna. Okay, so I mean, it's going to throw out a little bit of green, the Mindbender A, but not as much. It's more blue. And I remember my Mindbender B split more purple. More purple came out of it. So I'll be anxious to see it whenever it's done. All right. So the AC on down in Florida. Go on, boy. I like using contrasting colors across from each other on the wheel. Yeah, absolutely. Especially on a glitch. And so if you ever do glitch, that's what I feel like a glitch needs to be contrasting colors. That's what kind of makes a glitch. So I've always used contrasting colors. And my go-to colors are tangerine, blue violet, and mousse. And I've learned that I need to thin, do a thinner line on the mousse because it'll turn brown. I don't want it to be a bunch of brown on it. But so this is actually pretty short. It wasn't too long. Well, I'm going to flip this tomorrow and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to do this process twice. I'm not going to go live and show it. Like me and Steph would sometimes, if we had to flip it and do it again, we would call it after the ice melts and uh, and then do it again. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just flip it, do the exact same thing. If it's real saturated down here, I probably won't do it because I don't want to sit and try to, accidentally start diluting stuff or pushing colors through. And yeah, I don't want to do that, but I want it to be nice and bright, you know. A lot of ice, I think, can dilute your stuff. So, we'll see, tonight is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, is it gonna be Wednesday? Goodness. Yes, it would be. Um, okay, because I'll usually let this go. I, okay, so it's 9 o'clock. The last shirt I did on that experiment, that I revealed this morning and just now before we did this. Um, uh, oh my, see, man, I have brain fog bad. I start going off and on something and forget what I was saying. But um, anyway, Wednesday night we'll do. Oh well, yeah. 'Cause I let that go till 9 o'clock the other night. So I finished the video at 9, and 48 hours later, I I washed and rinsed and did all my rinsing process. Uh, we've always, at least when I was learning, we let it go 48 hours after the ice melts, 24 hours. Everybody's different. Some people don't have the patience and microwave and add water and all that, which, you do. Everybody has their thing, and that's what they find works for them. I feel like if I'm patient, what usually happens when we as human beings try to speed up the process of doing something? It usually isn't what you want it to look like. You know what I mean? So Stephanie has taught me a lot, and patience is what I really listen to. I used to do hot water irrigation because I had no patience, and it was an instant gratification until I saw some flow on this guy's shirt and flipped out when I saw it. And I never went. Not that I never went back, but I never went back, man. I mean, I'm an ice stayer now, pretty much 100%. So I mean, I love it. And I love the flow. I love the splits. I don't need to use a bunch of dye to get a bunch of colors. So if you figure out what works good for you, then, you know, that's what everyone needs to do. Figure out, I can see how the ice is settling down. That soda ashes really helps with melting. I can see it melting already up here. It's 69.9 degrees down here now. So actually, we're on my melting table. So I have a folding table. My dye station is directly behind me, and then my melting table's on a folding table, 8-foot folding table that I have sitting close to the heater, and it kind of keeps everything warm. I'm thinking about building a shelf that's kind of close to the ceiling because it's pretty warm on this one section over here. I have a humidifier and it blows out warm air. And it's always up top, so I'm thinking about building some racks up there because I can batch in those. It looks like 2 by 3, probably little uh, a foot tote or a shoe tote, something like that tall. And so I could build a rack over there and put it up on the rack and put my work inside the tote and put it up on the rack, and it would stay warm inside it. And, I can batch and not have to worry about artificial heat. It's artificial heat has always made me nervous, leaving it unattended. So, well, I'm going to, yeah, like he read it. It's about time to set up the hot box. I saw a thing the other day that a guy made for out of just little strips of wood and made a kind of like a grow tent pretty much, but he used it in the wintertime to as his workspace, he said. But it would be relatively easy to use. I do have my own method, and I don't like to say how I do it because I don't want to be responsible for somebody getting hurt or damaging their house. So I try to keep it to myself because it could be dangerous. Just like throwing your work in the microwave. You got to be careful because if it's dry, it'll catch on fire. So you always have to cover your work. If it's got to be somewhat damp and cover your work. If you put it in the microwave, it then catch you on fire and catch your house on fire. So you got to be careful. Safety first, man. Safety first. I can already see some nice splits right here. I see red and purple, and right here I see like, what is that? Kind of plum, kind of like a plummy color coming out, and it's mixing right here with the strawberry side with the Mindbender A and Actius Luna mixing right here and right here. Man, it looks really sharp. There's some more plum coming out right there. I went pretty. I didn't feel like I went heavy-handed. It just, you know. So you guys have a good night. I appreciate you so much tuning in. It was fun to do. I've been wanting to do the Chorus of Angels. This is a Chorus of Angels fold. I don't know if I had mentioned that or not, but I think what I'll do is I'll just leave this here because it feels pretty warm. It's not too bad. So tomorrow I'll flip it, do the same thing, and let it sit for another day. Maybe throw it in my tote after the ice melts and, you know, like I said, maybe build a little rack up, put a little rack up, even if it's just, I can figure something out for sure. So we're McDivers. So if you guys go out and start having too good of a time, do the safe thing and Uber it or call me if you're close. I'll come and get you. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate it. All the support, watching and commenting. And um, yeah, I always have a blast. I need to do it more often. And I plan on doing it more often. I plan on doing, I want to do experiments. So if you guys have any ideas on some experiments, let me know because I want to, there is one experiment I want to do that I want to do after this. And I kind of want to do it beforehand because, but I think I'll talk to some liquid dyers that I know, and I want to I want to play around with the pariah method with ice dyeing. So I might try to just mess around and see what happens. Okay, so I do want to do more. I do want to do more experimentation because it's super fun and you never know what's gonna, you never know the outcome. So, all right, well, thanks for tuning in and I appreciate you. Have a good night. I'll see you Wednesday evening. All right. Peace out, brothers and sisters.